Thank you very much, Shanna, and good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. And one small thing I forgot to ask, as we are providing this session with interpretation to several languages, please make short sentences and short pause after each sentence for our interpreters to be able to translate it.
Noted. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me to this session and giving me the opportunity to share my experience and also share some information about one of the most important topics that we discuss these days in cybersecurity. So thank you very much for the invitation. Let me first share my screen. I hope you can see my screen in the presentation
Yeah,
mode.
everything is good. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm Vindhya Rankodge. I had my PhD from University of Pompeu Fabra, Barcelona, in Information and Communication Technologies. And currently, I work at Canadian Institute for Cybersecurity, attached to University of New Brunswick, as a postdoctoral research associate. My expertise or my professional area is cybersecurity, and that's why today I'm going to discuss about cyberbullying, how it affects all of us, how we can stop cyberbullying, and how as a community we can work on to avoid cyberbullying in the digital space. So the topic
Vinya,
of my
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting, but could you please speak slower and
yeah,
make
sure,
pause after each phrase? I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you very much.
no problem, no problem. So topic of my presentation is behind the screen, the silent threat of cyberbullying. So we are going to talk about cyberbullying today. And if you look at the statistics from total population, 8.20 billion in the world, out of them, 5.78 billion, they use mobile phones. And 5.56 billions, they use internet. There are 5.24 billion people use social media. So all of us use social media in our day-to-day lives. It can be Facebook, it can be TikTok, it can be Instagram, or even other digital platforms like YouTube and Google search. So all of us use social media or digital platforms in our day-to-day lives. And this statistics shows what are the websites people search or people went most. The number one is Google, google.com. It's because if you want to search for anything or if you want to get to know anything, you just go to Google and search for it. And the second one is YouTube. The most visited website number 2 is YouTube. We go to YouTube and search for videos, search for music, maybe about videos about cooking, videos about traveling, videos about sports. So we search different things in YouTube. And the number 3 is Facebook. All of us have Facebook accounts. We post our photos, we post our videos, and we post our thoughts, and we share different things in Facebook. Number 4 is Instagram. Instagram also, we post videos, we post photos. So it's a social media platform. Number 5 is WhatsApp. These days, we use WhatsApp to send messages and even to call. So likewise, there are a lot of websites, social media platforms that are being used and very popular. So this figure, there are a lot of things, but don't worry about it. I will highlight few of the most important things. This part. Average daily time spent using social media. How much of time we spent in social media? Daily, 2 hours and 21 minutes. We have only 24 hours per day. Out of that 24 hours, we use 2 hours and 21 minutes for social media. Average number of social platforms used each month. 6.8 platforms. It can be Facebook, it can be TikTok, it can be Instagram, different platforms each month. Think about how many hours you use social media per day. Think about how many platforms you search in different media. So likewise, we are using social media more and more these days. This slide shows what are the reasons for using social media. Why we use social media? First of all, keep in touch with friends and family. Of course, as most of us are immigrants, we have left our families back in our own countries. Our beloved friends, beloved families, they are back in our countries. So we want to share photos. We want to share our daily lives with those friends and families. So we post photos in social media so that our friends and families can check them. So we use social media to keep in touch with friends and families. And the second reason is filling spare time. When we are here, we have very few hobbies. Usually, most of us are living in apartments. We don't have much land to grow flowers, to grow different vegetables. So we have very limited things that we can do since we are just migrated here and we don't have much of the things to do. So to pass time, we just go to social media and we just look at Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And the third reason is reading news stories. If you want to know new information about your own country or about Canada, it's easy to go to Facebook and see what has happened. It's easy to go to Google and see what has happened. So likewise, there are a lot of reasons, but these three reasons are the main reasons that people use social media. However, when people use social media, there are a lot of things are happening. We hear these words very frequently, that cyberbullying or online bullying or online problems. A lot of things are happening because people use social media more and more these days. These incidents can be very dangerous, and sometimes they are harassments. Sometimes school students, adults, even very young kids, teenagers, they can face these problems because people are using more and more digital platforms, more and more social media. Cyberbullying has become a very big problem. So today I'm going to discuss about what is cyberbullying so that you understand cyberbullying and what are the impacts of cyberbullying to your real life and also psychological perspective. What are our responsibilities in the digital culture about cyberbullying, and what are the legal, educational, and personal responses that we can take against cyberbullying, and finally, how we can empower a change so that we avoid or we stop cyberbullying. Okay, so first of all, what is cyberbullying? And this, the cyberbullying word, you can divide into two, cyber and bullying, but we pronounce it as cyberbullying together. Cyberbullying is basically use of digital platforms to harm others. When we want to harm a person, we can harm physically. We can go and hit. We can throw stones physically. If you physically hurt a person, that person sometimes will get hurt, and sometimes you will see a wound. Sometimes you will see bleeding if you hurt physically. But if you hurt in the digital platform, in the cyberspace, you don't see a physical wound. You don't see a physical thing. You don't see bleeding, but still you're hurting the person. So cyberbullying can occur through social media, message apps, forums, and even in online games. Usually it includes harassments. You harass a person. Sometimes you threat a person. You say, okay, if you do this, I will expose your photo. If you tell this to anyone, I will expose your video. And sometimes it can be humiliation. You post a photo which is not nice, and others will laugh at it. So it can range from cruel messages to public shaming and threats. And it can happen anytime, 24/7, because you are using an online platform. If it is a physical bullying or if it is physical thing, you can't do every time. You have to go and you go physically and you have to do it. But since this is cyberbullying, you do it via online platform, it can happen at any time. So unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying follow victim into the house, private lives, because it's just online. When it comes to cyberbullying, we identify a few key points or key characteristics. Intentional. The behavior is intentional to hurt or to embarrass a person. You do it intentionally. That's bad, of course. And repeated. It's not only one time. It happens again and again and again. It can be public, can be private. Sometimes you get threat messages in a private platform, let's say Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Sometimes you get these threats, you get these humiliation messages in public space. You might have seen a lot of messages like, you are fat, you are a loser. It might not be for you, but you might have seen these messages in your friends' posts, in your friends' photos, in public figures' photos. There are a lot of harmful messages or harmful text. So what are the platforms where it happens? Of course, social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. These are common spaces for public shaming and also rumor spreading. Sometimes gossips, fake news. These are not correct news. They spread very quickly in the social media. And message apps, WhatsApp, Discord, private messages also can be used to intimate or threat people. Online games and forums. If you are a gamer, if you want to play multiplayer games, you might have joined online games and forums. These gaming communities and forums also face cyberbullying problems because they lack moderation. There are no people to check whether the message is a good message or a bad message. People just post the messages. So according to like some surveys, Instagram is the place where you find most of these bullying messages, 42%, the highest percentage. And then you have Facebook, 37%. Snapchat, WhatsApp, YouTube, Twitter, all these places you can see a lot of hate messages, bullying messages. How cyberbullying and traditional bullying can be different. As I mentioned earlier, traditional bullying is usually physical. You go and hit a person. You go and throw a stone. Of course, it's very, very bad. You have no right to hit another person. You have no right to throw stones at other people. It's very, very bad. And cyberbullying also same. It's bad, but it's different from traditional bullying. In cyberbullying, no physical boundaries. Victims, victims are the people who get these bully messages, harass messages. They can't escape because it's online. It's always there. In traditional bullying, if you leave the school, if you leave the work, you escape bullying. But in cyberbullying, you can't escape. And most of these cyberbullying messages are anonymous. And because of that, it increased the cruelty. You don't know who is posting these messages. There is a name, but how we can say that it's the actual that person? So anonymity increases cruelty. If you physically hit a person, you see who hit you, the real person. But in cyberbullying, it's just a name. Bullies often hide behind fake profiles. You don't know whether these profiles are real or fake. And they mold their behavior because they are hide behind the fake profile. And harder to escape. Most of these photos, most of these videos, comments, they will be there forever in the digital space. Constant connectivity of digital life, we are connecting in the digital space all the time, and it makes difficult to find a relief. You can't escape. So as you see, traditional bullying is bad. Cyberbullying is also bad. Traditional bullying will give you wounds. Sometimes you'll bleed. Cyberbullying, of course, there won't be visible wounds or visible bleeding. But cyberbullying affects people a lot, mainly psychologically. And some other statistics, overall 36.5% of people feel they have been cyberbullied. What about you? Have you ever felt that you are bullied in the digital space? %60 of teenagers have experienced some sort of cyberbullying. 60% is a very high rate. 70% of teenagers have reported someone spreading rumors about them. As you see, if you are parents or if you are teenagers yourself, you might have experienced this. Cyberbullying is becoming very, very big problem because we are more into cyberspace these days than physical space. So what are the forms of cyberbullying that we see nowadays? Spreading rumors. False information, they usually quickly go viral and damage reputations. Sometimes people say, okay, this person did this. This person is like this. This person is telling these lies. Different fake information. Sharing embarrassing photos. If you have some funny photos of your friends, you might think it's a funny photo. But what about your friend? Does your friend think it's a funny photo? Or if that photo is an embarrassing photo for the friend? So that's a good thing to remember. When you are sharing photos in your social media, especially your friends' photos, make sure your friend liked that photo before sharing. It might be funny for you, but for your friend, it might not be funny. So images shared without consent can cause lasting humiliation. Consent. You have to check if your friend is okay for sharing this photo. You have to get the consent of your friend. Threatening messages. Sometimes you might get threatened messages. If you do this, I will share your photo. If you don't do this, I will share your video. And these messages can be repeated, come again and again and again. And you feel scared and you will be very anxious. And sometimes you might get excluded from online groups. Deliberate exclusion, that means they deliberately exclude you from online groups, and you might feel isolation and you might feel rejected. These can be forms of cyberbullying. So this survey shows that people bully you in cyber mostly for the appearance. They might say you are fat, you are ugly, you look old. And the second one is academic achievement and intelligence. Sometimes people might say, okay, you are big-headed. You think you know everything. You have a PhD, but you don't know about your life. They will bully you. And there are other reasons like race, sexuality, religion, financial status. So sometimes being immigrants, we might face these problems. And this is a survey done in US. And since US and Canada, we are very close by and neighbors, Canada also, this might be applicable. The most common types of online harassment according to US students. Sexual remarks. Different remarks or statements about sexuality. Online rumors. Mostly fake rumors. And some mean comments. And some other comments. So another survey, different forms of online harassment and where they usually take place. 35% had sent a screenshot of someone's status or photo to laugh at them. So you share a photo or screenshot of someone's photo in the group chat and you laugh at it. 25% has trolled somebody's in an online game. If you are an online game player, you might have experienced this. 17% liked or shared something online that openly mocks another person. So as you see, it's just not the typing something. Even if you like, even if you share something that is not appropriate, something hurtful, it is cyberbullying. So what are the real life examples? Number one, a teenager was targeted on Instagram with cruel comments and doctored photos. That means modified photos. Mainly, it can impact on their mental health. They experience depression and sometimes they might withdraw from school activities. This can happen to you, not only for teenagers. Think about an example like when you post a photo in Facebook or Instagram, if you get cruel comments or comments that makes you sad, you will think about it again and again, and you will be depressed. And as a community, what we can do? In this case, a school implemented an awareness program and also peer support groups. School implemented a cyberbullying awareness program so that students don't do cyberbullying. The second example, a gamer was harassed on Discord. Discord is a messaging platform like WhatsApp and Twitch during live streams. So gamer was playing the game online and he was harassed like this. Different messages. You are so shit. I'll ruin your life. Just die already. Piss off. These are very cruel messages. Very harmful. Someone might be just typing it. But when you see it, you get very sad. Sometimes highlight different tactics used. What are the ways that people use to bully in the live games? They can use trolls and coordinate attacks. Not only one person, several people get together, coordinate, and type messages like this. Doxing means sharing your private information in public space. They might share your phone number, home address, ID card number in the public space. And you get scared because your information is exposed in the public space. And what are the things or what are the lessons learned? We need platform moderation to see if the message is harmful or not. And also, we need to educate the users not to do cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is also very dangerous as physical bullying. Some people might think cyberbullying is just a message, how it is harmful. When you read the message, you feel sad. And you read it again and again and again, you feel sad again and again and again. So it's bad as physical bullying. The major problem here is the people who type these messages are anonymous most of the time. And it encourages the boldness. They can be very, they can show that they have very big powers. But they are hiding behind this anonymous user profile. Since these are hidden identities, you don't know who are they. You can't say, okay, you did this, you did that, because you don't know who are they. No accountability. And you can't touch them because you don't know who are they. And also it makes tracing bullies harder, especially law enforcement and platforms. They find it challenging because you can't trace them, they're anonymous. And victims, they feel helpless. There are very little consequences for these anonymous bullies. And victims, they feel that they are powerless. One of the biggest impacts of cyberbullying is psychological impact. First of all, people might feel anxiety because you are very anxious. You don't know what are the messages the bullies are going to post. You don't know what are the things that they are going to expose. You're very anxious, anxiety, and you get depressed, low self-esteem. Bullies are posting funny photos. You think these photos are ugly, and your self-esteem decrease, low self-esteem. And you think about this again and again and again, you can't sleep. Sleep disturbances. Stress and fear, they can disrupt the sleep patterns. And be mindful, be very careful. Sometimes all these things can end up with suicidal thoughts. In severe cases, cyberbullying has led to very tragic outcomes. You might have seen a lot of films. There are a lot of good movies, good films, which discuss about cyberbullying, how it affects people, and how it has affect them in the psychological aspects. If you haven't watched these movies, just search about movies on cyberbullying. You will find very nice, very informative movies, how we can stop cyberbullying and why we need to stop cyberbullying. So the impact on youth is very high because youth, they are very young kids. They are very vulnerable, mostly teenagers. They don't listen to parents. They rely on their friends. And if friends bully them, they feel helpless. Young people are still developing coping mechanisms. So if they get bullied, they feel helpless. The school performances might drop because they see this bullying and they feel this bullying, and there are a lot of emotional distress. And sometimes they might withdraw themselves from socially. They isolate themselves from friends and families. And there can be very dangerous consequences of these impacts. Not only teenagers or not only kids, cyberbullying impact adults also. There can be workplace harassments in the office. We have office chats, Teams chats, WhatsApp chats. Adults can get harassed in the workplace chat groups. Cyberbullying is not limited to youth. It affects professionals too. And it can damage the reputation, especially rumors, fake news. They can harm careers and also relationships. And they can cause emotional toll. Adults may also experience burnouts, anxiety, depression, not only teens, not only kids, adults also may experience this. So statistics shows 41% of people who were cyberbullied developed social anxiety. 7% developed depression and 26% had suicidal thoughts. So as you see, it's not a joke. It's not a funny thing. It's very dangerous. It's very critical. Often it's overlooked because people might say, oh, it's online. Why you worry about it? Many people dismiss cyberbullying, saying it's less serious than physical bullying. It's just online. And most of the people don't know about cyberbullying. They might not recognize the signs or they might not know the impact. And most of the times, victims, they are afraid to speak up. They fear of retaliation and shame, so they keep silent. And sometimes bystander. Bystander means people who see this bullying, but they just don't do anything. Sometimes we might be also bystanders. We see someone is bullying my friend, but I don't do anything about it. People see but don't act. You might see a lot of posts in Facebook, social media, that people bully other people. What do you do? Most of the time, we just ignore them. We think, oh, it's not our business, none of my business. Witness often ignore abuse, assume someone else will intervene. If I see something, I might think, okay, it's not my business. Why I should get involved? Fear of becoming a target. I might think, okay, if I go and say something now, they will bully me also. Bystanders worry they will also be bullied if they speak up. And normalization of cruelty. Nowadays, people take these cruel messages as normal things. Toxic online culture, they make this bullying acceptable. We think these haha messages, funny messages are normal, but they are not normal. They are very harmful and they make other people sad. Sometimes we think these are casual comments, just joking. Oh, why bother? We were just joking. Harmful remarks are often disguised as humor. We say, oh, don't take it serious. I was just joking. Okay, you might be joking, but it might not be a joke to the person, to that person. Memes and sarcasm, we see a lot of memes these days, and it has become normal to us. These can be stereotypes and mock individuals. And microaggressions online. We see small things and they become aggregated together and then boom, it blasts. We see a lot of small things and we don't care. But when they aggregated together, it blasts. So small insults can accumulate and cause real harm. So sometimes influencers and celebrities, they face this cyberbullying a lot. Public figures, they become targets and they face intense scrutiny and abuse online. If you go to public figures, celebrities, social media pages, see how many harmful comments, how many cruel comments they receive. Their influence on behavior, followers often follow them. So if they say cyberbullying is bad, if they stand against cyberbullying, their followers also will understand that cyberbullying is bad. So the influencers and celebrities have a big role in avoiding cyberbullying. Influencers can promote kindness and contribute to the toxicity. Either they can promote kindness or either they can promote toxicity because they have a lot of followers. So if you are a good influencer, if you are a good celebrity, you should make sure that you promote kindness, and they have a responsibility of promoting kindness. Of course, as traditional bullying, cyberbullying also has legal aspects. In Canada, we have this criminal code and Bill C-13 protecting Canadians from online crime act. Sharing intimate images without consent is a criminal offense. You can't share images without, especially intimate images without consent. And it can go up to 5 years prison. And all criminal harassment, threats, identity threats, and so on. So it's legally punishable. And police can obtain warrants to trace online activities. So in Canada, they have very good laws to protect you and punish the bullies. And also in Canada, we can report cyberbullying in different ways. On online platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they have built-in tools where you can report abuse or harassment. And local police departments, you can go and make a report there, or you can go to this site, cybertip.ca is the national tip line for reporting online sexual exploitation of children. And RCMP's Center for Youth Crime Prevention also provide resources and tools to prevent cyberbullying. So there are very good resources in Canada where you can use to report cyberbullying. However, the legal enforcements face different challenges because online harassments can be different forms. It can be photos, images, messages, and different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So it's make these legal actions very complicated. Schools and workplace, they can have their own policies, anti-bullying programs. They can implement digital safety education to make students aware of how bad cyberbullying is. And they can have different rules, guidelines to help and address abuse. And they can have support systems like counselors, peer support groups, so that anyone who faces cyberbullying can be supported. And as parents, as friends, it's very important for us to recognize the signs. If your friend or if your child is suddenly withdrawing from online activities, it can be a sign that they are getting bullied. Teens may stop posting or engaging online. Emotional changes. There can be mood swings. Sometimes they can be very sad, or sometimes they can be very angry. If you see these signs in your friends, in your children, please be on alert. And avoidance of certain platforms. Sometimes they might deactivate their Facebook profile, deactivate their Instagram profile, because they want to avoid bullies, so they deactivate it. If you see these kind of signs in your friends, in your children, please be on alert. We need to understand cyberbullying and conflict is totally different. Cyberbullying is very harmful, hurtful, and done on purpose over and over and over again. But a conflict is a disagreement. In an online platform, in Facebook, two people can have a disagreement. It's an normal part of our life. It's not bullying. It's just they have a disagreement. One-time thing. Both people have equal power and they want to resolve it. That's why they talk about it in the platform or Facebook. But bullying is different. it happens again and again. One person have high power and he doesn't want to resolve. So when you want to report cyberbullying or when you think it's a bullying, make sure you identify that it's not a conflict. So I want to go through a few scenarios quickly. If you see two classmates argue over a project deadline in WhatsApp group, the messages are sharp but focused on the task. Is this a cyberbullying or conflict? What do you think? Are the messages personal or task related? How they can resolve it respectfully? So if you see something like this, think, is this cyberbullying or is this just a conflict? Most of the time, this might be a conflict. Two classmates, they argue over a project deadline. And the second scenario, a student posts a selfie and another repeatedly comment with insults like ugly, loser over several posts. Now, this can be a cyberbullying because it's repeatedly bad comments like ugly, loser. And the third scenario, one-time joke. A friend shares a meme about another friend's fashion style. The person feels embarrassed, but the sender says it's just a joke. Is this a cyberbullying or misunderstanding? Sometimes it can be a cyberbullying because even though it's just a joke for you, for the other person, it can be a very bad harassment. So in this scenario, it can be cyberbullying or misunderstanding. What should we do? How should the sender respond if the joke hurt someone? If the joke hurt your friend, we can say sorry. We can accept what we did was wrong. And we can make sure we don't do it again. Because cyberbullying is repeated again and again and again. If it is one-time thing, and if we say sorry, we did something bad, and we are not going to do it again, then it can be considered as a misunderstanding. Exclusion from a group chat. A group of friends creates a new chat and leaves one person out intentionally. Of course, you can leave out one person intentionally because sometimes you think that this person is not a good friend or he is not very friendly. That's okay. But if you leave out him and if you talk about him in the chat, that's not good. If you leave that person out, then let him be. Don't use the chat group to talk about him. If you just leave out him because you think he's not good or he's not appropriate for this chat group, that's a social conflict. But if you talk about him in the chat, it becomes cyberbullying. So if you are a victim or if you see a victim who is again and again being harassed online, what you can do? You can block or report users who harass you. Most platforms allow users to block and report abuse. You have to save evidence. Please take screenshots and logs so that they can be helpful in investigations. And you can seek support from trusted adults or professionals. You can talk to your friends. You can talk to another person and who can provide relief and guidance. If you see someone is getting bullied or someone is bullying as bystanders, what we can do? Speak up respectfully. Don't just ignore it. Speak up. calling out bully can discourage the further bullying. Support the victim privately. You can talk to the victim privately and make sure he or she feels okay. Even a simple message can support, and it might mean a lot. Report harmful content. In social media platforms, there are tools to flag inappropriate behavior. You can report. And what parents can do: monitor online activities of your kids. If you are aware, you can detect the early signs. I discussed signs earlier. They might stop using social media platforms. They might showing sadness, anger. So if you see these signs early, it's easy. Open communication. Encourage children to talk about their experience, whether their experience is good, bad, whether they see cyberbullying. Educate about digital safety. Teach how they can use the online platforms respectfully, how they can be kind in the online platform, and how they can respond to abuse. But educators, as teachers or as elders, what we can do: create safe online spaces. We have to be very careful when we post messages, things in online. Promote respectfulness in the digital classrooms. We can include cyberbullying in curriculum so that students or our kids get to know about cyberbullying, how to stop cyberbullying. Encourage reporting. Make students to feel that it's okay to speak up. It's a good thing to speak up. And what everyone can do: we can promote kindness online. Just as we talk to people in person, physically kindly, do the same online. Positive interactions build healthier communications. Think before posting. Words can hurt. They are very powerful. Images, very powerful. They can hurt. So think before post. Be an ally, not a bystander. Don't ignore if you see bullying. Support victims and challenge the bullies. There are a lot of resources or tools that you can use. There are tools on platforms. Learn how to use them. And there are helplines. You can access professional help and peer support. Talk to them. And there are a lot of educational websites, resources to learn and teach about cyberbullying. For an example, this is the Canadian website from the Public Safety Canada, where you can report cyberbullying. And there are a lot of key resources: cybertip.ca, Kids Help Phone CA, Need Help Now CA. They all help for the cyberbullying, to report cyberbullying and to avoid cyberbullying. And as responsible people of Canada, Canadians, we need to empower the change. We need to be the change. We have to make sure our small actions help avoiding cyberbullying. Small actions make big difference. One kind comment or report can help to stop a bully. And we need to build a respectful digital communities so that everyone can plays a role in shaping this online safe culture. And you have to encourage empathy online, not only on physical, but in online also, you have to be very empathetic. Understand others also have feelings. Your words, your text messages will make them sad or happy. So please make sure your messages will not make them sad. And as final remarks, we need to understand what is cyberbullying. I went through several slides explaining cyberbullying, how it is different from traditional bullying, but it is also harmful as traditional bullying, and where it can happen. And then I discussed different impacts of cyberbullying, especially psychologically, how it affects youth and as well as adults. And then I discussed the digital culture of responsibility, what we can do, how we can report, and what are the resources available, legal consequences, laws, school and workplace policies, and also as responsible people of the community, what are the tools and things that we can do in our day-to-day lives to ensure that cyberbullying is avoided. So that's the end of presentation, and this is my email address. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email or connect me through LinkedIn